Hello. I think everything is kind of just a combination of actions. And so whenever I'm thinking about how I'm feeling in the moment, I don't think about it through like, man, I really want to punch this guy if I'm angry. I think of it like, what is the correct set of actions to get to the optimal conclusion, I guess. And, or at least the logical conclusion. And so whenever I'm doing my actions, of whatever they may be, whenever, it's my turn in combat, I I focus on the outcome instead of the what I would want to do, because there are times in which you have to act in ways that go against what you probably would like to do in order to get good outcomes. So, like, if you're in a conflict with someone and they're saying a bunch of things and you're saying a bunch of things, and maybe you could call it an argument, then you may want to say a bunch of nasty things in order to feel better in the moment. But holding back those nasty things and instead trying to reach for a connection of sorts and coming to a proper conclusion in through that conversation by not saying a bunch of nasty things and instead trying to find common ground with that person, then you can reach, better outcomes. And I don't know what the root of this concept would be. If it's like brought on by willpower or motivation or just like a change in thought pattern. But whatever it is, it works pretty well. There are a lot of difficult things that you have to learn when building common ground, and it's a lot of trial and error. It's also a lot of patience. And in most of the conflict management books or courses I've read or taken, the main idea is finding common ground. So that's got to be like the most difficult part of this optimal conclusion, right? Because you're just solving the problem. But there's so many different ways that the human brain interprets conflict that you just have to trial and error until you find something that works. Until you be like, the root of the problem is what I learned in boating school is you just have to dig deep enough, get the information out, and like 9 times out of 10, it's just a miscommunication of information. There's no ill will usually, right? And now there can be ill will through that miscommunication because you feel like you've been wronged. And so you're like, well, I'm going to wrong you, But if you just take a step back, look at the whole thing, and then get all the information, you'll come to realize that the conclusion you're looking for is from the information that you need, right? It's like argument hopefully turns into, or, preemptively, you don't get into an argument and instead just get the information, and then with the information, you are able to have like a bit of a double process of coming to the right conclusion and making sure that people feel not pissed. They have their feelings taken care of and their identity taken care of before you try and push something onto them or just present them with information. Because sometimes people do things that don't align with who they are, and whenever those things are done, they would rather just push them away, just be like, nope, that wasn't me. But you gotta know what you've done in order to change, and don't get into arguments. Get into the information. How that's done, that's the most difficult thing ever. Because it's a fun balancing act of getting the right scenario or the right vibe in the conversation to be like, yeah, you can speak to how not faults, but instead of like who did what really, but not like pass any blame around. Just there's people doing things, and this combination of things led to this, which we don't like and would rather not happen again. And so we want to know what combination of things and what can be done to stop that from happening again. Kind of like that, all of that. And then you have to balance making sure the person feels okay with that, understands the things that have been done wrong, and then also make sure that person will take that information and like align it with themselves so that they might not do it again. It's a lot of work, but when it can be done masterfully, it's beautiful. Anyways, toodles.